you got to be careful how you handle people that are gifted. Because when somebody's gifted, I don't care what kind of pit you put them in, they'll get out of it. I don't care what kind of lie you tell on them, they'll get out of it. I don't care what kind of prison you put it in, they'll get out of it. I want to talk to some people that have gotten out of stuff that people put you in and thought you'd never get out of it. But because of the level of the gift that's down inside of you, I don't care how deep the pit was, sooner or later God would get you out of it. I don't care how the eyes that have been told on you, pretty soon God will get you out of it. I don't care if they put you in prison. After a while you'll be running to prison because you're gifted. One thing you can do, you can take my coat, but you can't take my gift. You can take my clothes, but you can't take my gift. Here you can have my watch, but you can't take my gift. My gift is not in my watch. My gift is not in my shoes. My gift is not in my clothes. My gift is not in my...
You cannot bring something that you're not. You cannot imitate what somebody else has. All you have to bring is all that you are, and all that you are is enough.
If you can just keep believing when nothing in you is working, when all your external forces have given way, if you can just manage to somehow keep hoping, you have a chance. You just can't become hopeless.
And a lot of people don't realize that what God has placed inside of you is enough.
Every time you wake up, that's a sign from God that He ain't through with you. As long as you waking up, He's saying to you, I ain't through with you yet. He's just waiting on you to turn and see what it is.
One thing that people who have struggled fail to prepare for is winning. We prepare for sustaining ourselves through the struggles that spawned us. But we have no business plan, no mantra, no model for winning. And so when I started seeing the magnitude of what God was doing in my life, it was scary. One of the sources of great stress in our lives is not knowing what's normal. If a woman was pregnant and she didn't know it was normal to gain weight, she would think something was wrong. If she didn't know that it was normal to be sick every morning, she'd be calling the doctor every morning, she would think something is wrong. You don't have to change any of her symptoms to give her peace. Just tell her it's normal. And a lot of times when you're doing something for the first time, the most frightening thing about doing it is trying to figure out what's normal on this level.
God never created a soul He didn't give a gift to. All of you have it. Think of your God-given gift. All of you have the ability to make, all of you can do something.
You don't have to sit back and wish you were somebody else. He has pre-designed you and pre-equipped you to accomplish everything that He created you to do.
So I ask you, are you willing to reinvent yourself? Are you willing to become someone you've never seen before? Are you willing to run, leap, and soar, even at the possibility that you might fall? Are you willing to do something you've never done before, say something you've never said before, do the things you don't want to do, say the things you don't want to say, so that you can be the man, the woman you've always known yourself to be? Are you willing?
I just hope that you finally step up and face your reality. Because you will never win your war by running from your battles. And a lot of us, what we do, we run from it. You will never fix what you're not willing to face. My whole entire life, when I told people I wanted to be an NFL football player, you know what their response was, right? That can't happen to you. Yeah, right. Teachers, give me the percentage. I already know the percentage by heart is 0.009% of you having the chance to become an NFL football player. And I said, well, I'm going to be in that 0.009%. And a lot of people, what was happening was they were placing their impossibilities on my life. And I want you to understand something. When you leave here, and it's true, I'm sure you experience this all the time, there will be people that place their impossibilities on your life. They're going to tell you what you can't be. They're going to tell you what you can't do. They're going to tell you what you can't heal from. And they're going to tell you what you can't grow from. And a lot of us, we are too good at taking advice from people who have never been successful at what we're trying to be successful at. When I first started telling people I wanted to be a speaker, say, Trey, you're not professional enough. You don't wear the suit and the tie. You don't know how to write on a flip chart. You don't know how to do all these things. You don't know how to do this and do that. You're not professional enough. You know what I told them? I said, I'm purposeful enough. And they kept trying to tell me, they kept trying to change me and change my message and change. If you do this, you can speak at this company. If you talk like this, you can get in this building. But my grandmama told me something I'll never forget. God bless her soul. She said, if you have to change who you are in a negative way to get something, that's something that you don't need. And so for me, I said, I'm not going to change in a negative way. I'm not telling you not to grow and change, because we should change. We should never stay the same. But I said, you know what? Since they won't let me in the building, I'm going to build my own. Since they won't share their platform, okay, cool, I'll build my own. And it took 10 years. You heard everybody's story. It took 10 years for me to get to this point. When I first started speaking, literally, it would be like the first 2 rows, and those people were my friends and my family. But it took me years to get here, and I didn't use any excuse. A lot of us, we are living life like this. Oh, the person I reached out to didn't reach back. The influencer didn't reach back. It's my mom's fault, my dad's fault, it's my husband's fault, my wife's fault, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. You're living your life like this. And as long as you live your life pointing the finger externally, you give that external force, whatever it is, the power to control the rest of your life. Everybody point at yourself. Say it's on me. Where you go or don't go, I promise you, it's on you. It's your responsibility. Take the power out of whatever excuse that you are given the power to. Take it back and realize that you are enough. Seriously, you are, because I know we talk about loving yourself and so many people say it, but then when I look at their life, it's not a reflection of loving yourself. You got to set the tone for your life. If you don't love yourself, guess what? Nobody else is going to love you like that. If you don't respect yourself, nobody else is going to respect you. If you don't think highly of yourself and you're not going to go and make the world respect your greatness, then nobody else is going to make you. Nobody else is going to believe in you. It starts with you and what you believe in.
I am an average, ordinary human being. I used to say I'm below average, but the fact is I don't think that's really true. I actually think everybody's born with giftedness.
Now, what is your gift? It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. Your gift will make room for you. Stop trying to be something you ain't gifted at. All of you have this gift. Identify it. You're wasting your time pursuing your passion. Stop tripping. If you fry chicken better than everybody you know, you ought to be somewhere frying chicken. You know the story of Marie Callender's? She worked for a diner that was going out of business. It was her only job. She was a single mother. She needed that job, but the diner was going to close. So she went to the owner of the diner and said, let me bake one of my pies and see if I can help you make a little money. He said, whatever, bring it in. She bought one pie in. They sold every slice. The next day, so many people asked for the pie, she had to make 4 pies. She made so many pies at this store that she eventually saved her money and put a commercial oven in her house. The dude's shop, he ain't selling hamburger no more. All he's selling is them damn pies. Marie Callender now has over 120 restaurants.
When you figure out what those gifts are, you use them in the service of other people, you start living a pretty blissful life. It didn't take very long for me to find out what my gifts were. It's not IQ. I'm not the strongest dude in the world. I'm not the funniest dude in the world. But I am a pretty good communicator, and I'm a really good listener. I love being present with people, and one of my gifts is I sincerely care about people. And you ought to be thinking about what your gifts are. I ask high performers, even like you guys, what's your giftedness? And you'd have a hard time telling me. Like for me, we used an IQ test in my family. I was 4th out of 4 people in my own house. I've been able to identify what my gifts are. I can transfer energy to people. I will outwork your ass. Those are gifts. So I always had these gifts that were mine. You've got yours. If you'll take an inventory of what they are, you'll be a more wealthy, productive person. I've been able to build a significant 9-figure net worth in my life, and I'm a goober. So I want you to think, if a goober dude like me can end up doing that stuff, what could you accomplish? I'm a really goofy dude. I've always wanted to be somebody. Anybody relate to that? Say yes or no. I don't want to be. There's a bunch of jokers want to be somebody. I need to be somebody. Are you like that or not? I needed to be somebody. I wasn't playing with my life. When I was 30 years old, I had my first heart attack. So I might not be the fastest, the strongest, the smartest, none of that crap, but I'll outwork your ass, and I flat out want it more than you. But I've always wanted to be somebody. You probably heard that term, fake it till you make it. Any of you ever done that before? My first job, I was an electrician. Then I was a busboy at the whole enchilada. That was an upgrade because they let me go as an electrician because I couldn't show up to work and get there by 6 a.m. And then I worked at an orphanage that changed my life, and then I became in the financial business and got wealthy. There's nothing about me. So I wanted to be rich. I started in the financial company. I'm like, hey, I can't be driving around like, I had a Honda CRX. So I thought, man, I need to drive a Mercedes for people to take me damn serious. So I'm reading in the Penny Saver, and it says, Kit Car Mercedes. 1997, Mercedes-Benz 600 convertible kit car that's built on an 88 Chrysler LeBaron frame. I'm not playing with you. I did this. I lived in that car for 2 years. That's the story of me wanting to be somebody. So I don't know where you're at right now, but are you slightly ahead of a Velcro together Mercedes? Yes or no? Yes? Now, what did I become? What changed with me where things changed? I read a book called Selling the Dream by a guy named Guy Kawasaki about that same time. Guy Kawasaki was the guy that sort of marketed Macintosh for Apple. I'm very familiar with what made that company work. They had a dude that led that company who was a crazy man named Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs didn't have a high IQ. He was an intense, psycho, crazy. He was a great storyteller. Write this down. The greatest leaders are evangelical about their cause. They are cause-oriented leaders. To the extent that you'll be a great father is to the extent that you can become evangelical about the cause and the mission your family's on. I'm constantly telling my children, we're going to do something awesome. Since my son was a little boy, every night I go to bed, you're a leader, you're a gladiator, you're the greatest of all time, Max. I tell my daughter that all the time. Why? No one told me that crap when I was growing up. So what do those leaders have in common? If we go back and look at there, what does Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, my dumbass, what do we all have in common? In different ways, they became evangelical about their mission and their cause and their company. What's an evangelist do? A person who seeks to convert others, a zealous advocate of a cause. That's what an evangelist does. You must speak about these things, write about these things. When your people get around you, it's infectious and repetitive, and you don't tire of saying it over and over and again, because I'm relentless about it. Why? Because our obsessions become our possessions.
So if you want to do something, if you thought about something you want to do, take it head on. Decide that you're going to face it, that whatever shortcomings you have, that you're going to strengthen yourself there, that you're going to get started right now. Do what you can, where you are with what you have, and never be satisfied. Always strive to be more than that which you are. Yeah. Satisfied with yourself. Always know that wherever you are, you can enjoy more, that you deserve more.
But if you really begin to think about what you think about on a regular basis, most of you are thinking about what you're worried about, you're afraid of, and what you're concerned or anxious about. You don't take control about what you're putting in your mind. When you're intentional about something, it loses its power over you. Once you're aware you're doing something, it can't affect you like it can when you're not aware. But you have an emotional home. You have a series of emotions you live with regularly, don't you? Those emotions could be bliss, ecstasy, passion, joy, peace, faith, but they could also be worry, stress, anger, anxiety, aren't they? And because you've done it over and over again, even though you know they don't serve you, you will find a way on a very basis to get those damn emotions. The quality of your emotions is going to be the quality of your life. All of you this year wrote down a bunch of things you want to achieve. You and I have gotten pretty good at achieving things we put our mind to, haven't we? Including the negative things. Now, since you're so good at getting what you want, what if you set an outcome to begin to achieve certain emotions on a regular basis? Because what you've done is you've deluded yourself into thinking, if I can get $5 million in the bank, if I get that hot so-and-so girl, then I'll have those emotions I want. That ain't how it works. I want you to have a bunch of stuff. I want you to have a bunch of achievement. But if you start to become more intentional, I'm going to find some peace every day. I'm going to find some solitude every day. You're not getting out of here alive. You ain't getting out of here alive. Why don't you start to be a little happier? A little bit more giving, man. You'd be so happy you did. The fact is, the strongest men are the ones who are willing to give joy, give passion, give peace to people. Those are the strongest men in the world, right? We've all been wired a little bit differently. In fact, you know what? I'm going to cut the crap. I'm going to get you emotional. I'm going to give you a secret. I think I'm the way I am because of what I watched my dad do. I'm not an alcoholic, but my dad was a dude who get angry pretty quick, get stressed pretty quick. So your life may look a whole lot different, and maybe the external part of your life's not like it. But what about the internal part? Has it been all it's been cracked up to be to get where you are? Or didn't you think you'd feel better about yourself by the time you got here? And your kids, you know when you go to one of your kids' Little League games, there's 25 kids out there, 9 on each side plus the dugout. Which kid do you see? You see your little dude, don't you? Well, guess what? All they see is you. They love you because you're dad, but at some point, are they proud of you? Are you a man making a difference in the world? And you know what they want more than anything than you to be all this other stuff? Is dad happy? And they know when you're lying. They don't see anybody else. The whole prism of the world of what they think they can experience, you're providing them. And it's not the stuff, it's the emotions. Why don't you just give yourself a break? Why don't you just be a little happier right now? You can do that right now. In this moment, you can intend to decide that you're just going to begin to see things. What if you started to filter into that things that just brought you bliss and peace and happiness? You were born to do something awesome. You were also born to be happy. And you think, man, if I start having all of this happiness crap you're talking about, I'm going to lose my drive. That's what keeps me working. That's what you think. I used to think it too. There's a difference between happiness and satisfaction. You can be simultaneously incredibly blissful and still totally dissatisfied. Here's what happened to me. I was building a mansion, and I'm all wound up one day, and I walk in. There's all these guys probably in the country illegally. They were working on my kitchen, right? These guys are making no money. They've left their families. I'm walking into my dadgum mansion I'm building with my wife and my baby, pissed off about some call I just had. And I look over, they got mariachi music playing. They're dancing and laughing as they're doing their job. And I thought to myself, if life were counted by the emotions we experience, they're kicking my ass right now. These guys have nothing and they find a way to get joy. Don't lose the emotional part of your life just to go win and get more stuff.